Hey everyone, this is Future Kate popping in from my very messy studio in the middle of a bunch of non-YouTube stuff right now to let you know that this is part one of a two-part series. I put the poll out during my seaweed glaze review a couple of weeks ago to see how you guys wanted me to handle this project that ended up being a bit of a monster, and the winning vote was to split it into two parts. So this is part one, and part two is going to come out in a couple of days. So enjoy and stay tuned. Hi everyone, it's Kate. Welcome back to another episode of Maritime Ceramics. Today's episode is going to be a little different for me. So look, I really hope that this works out for you, but if it doesn't work out, it should be a spectacular failure. So either way, stick around for the ride. See what happens. One of the first YouTubers that I found was Pottery to the People. And if you haven't seen her channel, go check it out. She's delightful and she does some really interesting projects. She just makes unusual things out of clay. And one of the episodes that she did was making a table out of clay. So she made like a big plant pot with legs, and then she made a wooden top for it. It was actually one of the first things that I tried to make when I started doing pottery at home. I failed, as might be expected, but it's been in my head ever since that I want to try that again. Today's video is going to be me trying to make Mia's plant table. Are we calling it a plant table? Anyway, with, of course, some changes, because of course. Number one, I have no woodworking skills whatsoever, so it will not be a table. It will just be a plant pot. And then I'm going to change the design up a little bit to kind of suit my aesthetic. I'm going to make it out of red clay. I have one bag of red clay left, but I can get more if I need it. And I'll overlay onto this video some terrible sketches. Please do not judge me based on my drawing abilities. Drawing is not my forte. Speaking of things that are not my forte, hand building is also not my forte. So this legitimately could end up looking like something that a 3-year-old made. I have this tree here. You can't see the top of it, but like it keeps going. It is giant. And I have stuck it in this very generic, way too large IKEA plant pot. This pot, got some fruit flies growing in there. Oh, and oh look, there's some spiders. Okay, I'm off to Google how to get rid of fruit flies in your plants. I didn't even know that was a thing. Okay, where was I? Spiders, fruit flies. Oh yeah, the pot's too small. The root has grown through. Totally off my game. Spiders and fruit flies. Gross. I'm going to make a 14-inch pot. The details of that math are kind of lost to the ages now because I did it quite a while ago. But I figure if I make it 14 inches wide, which is what this bat is, then even after the shrinkage, it'll still be bigger than that pot that's behind me with the spiders and the fruit flies. And then I'm going to put some legs on it because I want to elevate this off of the floor a little bit. I think the first time I tried this project was the only coil building I've actually done of any size. What's the worst that can happen? I need to recycle a bunch of clay. Been there, done that. So let's give it a go. I think they might be dead. They don't seem to be moving. We need a giant slab for the bottom of this. Mia, I hope I'm saying your name right, on Pottery to the People is super helpful, and she really shows all the parts of her process, which I really appreciate. She uses a template to do this sort of thing. I'm not going to do that. This is probably why hand building is not my forte. I just want to do it. I don't want to plan it. She said to make this, or she made hers fairly thick. And this is 3/8 of an inch, or 10 millimeters, which is a centimeter. I want to minimize the amount that this slab bends, because the one thing that I do know about hand building is that warping happens a lot, which is why I don't do a lot of hand building. I think I got somehow magically exactly the right amount of clay, and I'm definitely going to need more red clay. It's just getting progressively less round as I touch it. Now, this is still super sticky, so we probably don't need water. I would be very annoyed if I got this whole thing done and the piece that failed was the very first piece that I did. So we're going to just put a little water on here anyway. I'm at the age where I need to look over my glasses sometimes. So if you see me doing this, that's what's going on. It's all attached on the outside, so I'm going to go through and attach it on the inside. And I'm just smudging it down, and then I'll blend it. One of the things that I love about pottery, on a conceptual level, I would do it anyway because I love throwing on the wheel. It's meditative. But I did do quite a bit of coursework in anthropology and archaeology when I was in school. I do not have a degree in archaeology. I have never worked in archaeology, but I do have a keen interest in it. And one of the things about ceramics is that it is our oldest, I shouldn't say it's our oldest technology because it's not. It would be stone tools. But one of the ways that archaeologists can date sites is by the kind of ceramics that are at the site. And one of the super cool things about ceramics is that it literally preserves the fingerprints of people who are long gone. A lot of the things that we build are ephemeral, you know? Will anybody remember that we existed? 1,000 years, 2,000 years, 5,000 years after we're gone? Maybe not. But if you're a potter, and you're the kind of potter who leaves a bit of a personal touch in their pots, some potters like really clean pottery. So thinking of somebody like Florian Gadsby, and some potters do slip casting, which typically wouldn't preserve fingerprints. But something like this, or if you attach handles and you don't kind of smooth over the fingerprints, or when I do spoon rests, when I do make the little kind of ledge for the spoon to rest on, I don't clean that up too much. And it literally is because the things that I am making will outlive me. And I like the idea that a physical trace of my existence will last as long as my ceramics are around. And even if they get thrown out, is one of the things that archaeologists use a lot are midden heaps or garbage piles, because civilizations, towns, cities will throw things out, and that stuff tends to just kind of stay there, right? Like, if you think about it, what do you do with a garbage dump when you're done dumping garbage in it? You just kind of put some earth on it and build. So all that stuff is still there. So even if people decide they don't really like the stuff that I made and they throw it out, it's still there. And it is still potentially going to be found by a future archaeologist, and a little piece of me lives on. A little piece of what I have created. And I think a lot of people think of like their kids as that kind of legacy, right? Like your DNA lives on. But who knows if your kids are going to have kids? They might not. I will, of course, clean this bottom edge up once it's all done, and I can flip it over, but I'm going to make sure it's sealed really well. Should I tell my loyal viewers that my husband has been in to save me from the spiders? He has no opinion. I'm going to go ahead and put a second layer on this guy. This is how I got into trouble the first time, but apparently I don't learn from my mistakes. I am going to leave this to sit up a little bit because it's still a little wobbly in places. It needs to be dry enough to be able to hold more weight. If I try and put more coils on it now, it will collapse. So there are two ways of doing that. You can either just leave it and wait for time, or you can use a heat gun. And I am just going to leave this out to dry a little bit and see how it goes. Basically, from here until the top of the pot, it is rinse and repeat. I'm just putting another row of coil on, waiting for it to dry, or heat gunning it until it's dry, and then putting another layer on. I am second guessing myself about the bat now, and it's too late. Because this is absorbent, this is Medex or Masonite or something, it's going to be sucking moisture out of the bottom of the pot. So I'm afraid that the bottom of the pot is going to get too dry. I should have put it on a piece of paper on top of the bat so that I could move it if I needed to. I did not do that. And so we are stuck with the situation. So we will be back probably tomorrow, and we'll carry on building our plant pot. Now in a room free of spiders, at least free of spiders that I can see. And welcome to day 3. Overnight, I actually fully wrapped it up. Again, I put this over top, and it's just on the edge, so I think next time I might not do that. So we are at 6.5 inches. So that means we're just about halfway. As you can see, the top of it is not level. That's because I'm hand rolling my coils, and as I believe I previously mentioned, I'm not very good at that. So if you're wondering why I score the pot and not the coil, it's because the coils are super soft. So they adhere kind of no problem, whereas this isn't going to stick very well without a little bit of help. Now I am actually trying to roll thicker coils just to make things go a little faster because you get a little more height with each coil, but I seem to be pre-programmed to make coils of one size. So we're just going to go with it. It's probably not great to change the size of the coil mid-project. Anyway, I need to start thinking about what the legs on this are going to look like. Because I need to, I think, carve those out today. Because I feel like I might actually get pretty close to done in terms of coiling this today. The longer I leave this in progress, the more opportunity I have to mess it up. Suspect that I haven't left these walls thick enough to really shape it the way I'm going to want to. So we'll see. The challenge is keeping the bottom of this covered up so that it doesn't dry out too much, while also letting the top dry enough for another layer. Down to the local college, craft and design college, to get this clay. It is literally the last bag of Pottery Supply House 500 clay in town. So this is what I have to work with to finish this thing. The original intention was for this to be about 14 inches wide and 14 inches tall. It is now about 11 inches tall, I think. It's exactly 11. I have one more coil. I need like 2.5 coils to get around here. So let's say, this much of the bag to get another inch. So we'd be 12 inches. And then I want feet. So the feet are kind of important because I want to bring this up off of the ground, and I don't know how much clay that's going to take. I actually kind of wanted to throw them on the wheel because then I would get more consistent, repeatable results. Like just throw some really thick kind of cylinders, but I have absolutely no idea how much clay that would take. I guess I need to figure out the feet first. And then whatever clay I've got left is how tall the pot's going to be. I don't know that I have much of a choice. So if this ends up being a foot, so 12 inches, and then you're going to lose 10% of that. I'm going to do that in centimeters because sometimes I mess things up in inches. Okay, so this is 30 centimeters. And then lose 10% is 3 centimeters. So that's 27 centimeters, which is 10.5-ish inches. And right now that's fine. It's going to be fine. It'll be bigger than it is now. It'll be even wider proportionally, but that's okay too. I'm going to make my coils that I need so that I know I can do one more ring on this. And then I'm going to divide the rest of this into 3. And we'll come back together and figure it out. So my camera ran out on me when I was shaping these. You didn't miss much. It was just refining the shape and trying to make sure that they were all the same. Where are we at now? The pot is done. It's just off screen here. It's wrapped up. These guys have been covered in a cloth for a couple of days now. The reason for that is that I needed them to be stiff enough for me to carve out. So what I've decided to do is exactly what Mia did, except in a different shape. My idea is that there will be 3 feet, like so. And I'm going to carve out the inside of these. I am going to leave the wall on these thicker than the wall on the pot itself. Legs just feel like they should have more heft to them in order to be stable. I don't know about the shape of these. I think I might round these edges a little bit more. What do you think, Snowball? I do actually have 2 black cats. It's just that Indy rarely feels the need to get involved with my work. Snowball feels the need to be involved with everything. Yes, honey, I know. I'm talking, you think I'm talking to you, don't you? Do you want to go inside? These legs are made from the $46 half box of clay that I got from the College of Craft and Design. So every scrap of this will be reclaimed. One of the things I have learned through this project is how much patience people who do hand building must possess. I thought I knew, but I had no idea. Everything takes forever. And I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm not good at it, but smoothing things out. I did a little test bowl with the bits and pieces that I had left over from this. It wasn't enough to do a whole nother coil on it, but I did have some left over. Just trying to smooth that out took forever, and like I'm getting cramps in my hands. You guys who hand build all the time, kudos, hats off to you. I feel certain that people who do more hand building than I do are watching me do this, and you're like screaming at me inside your own head, probably. No, do this instead. Feel free to leave that stuff down in the comments, because like I say, this is not my usual kind of project. Do these look like a set? Ish. This one's lopsided. It's less lopsided on this side. Not really, no. It's late. We're on day, I don't know, 4 or 5 or something. Time has no meaning anymore. I really thought that we should take a moment to appreciate the work that Mia does over on Pottery the People. I thought I understood what it took to do a YouTube video. I mean, I've done a bunch of them. The glazing videos are certainly not quick and easy. You know, the filming stretches over weeks and you have to try and keep track of everything, which if you guys have seen my videos, you know, I'm not always super good at. But this is on a whole nother level. I have, I think, 4 hours of footage, some of it on 1 camera, some of it on 2 cameras. I've done some stuff off camera. I'm not done yet. This is like a crazy project. And this is what Mia does every week on her channel. She makes something new and interesting that's really involved, and I think sometimes we underestimate the work that our favorite, I was going to say YouTubers, but really YouTube is TV now, right? So I think sometimes it's not obvious how much work goes into these. And I really enjoy Mia's channel, her programming, her projects. Absolutely love it. So this is just me saying to her, thank you for all the time you put in. I know you make money off of YouTube, but I also know that, my God, there's got to be easier ways to make a living. This is a little bit crazy. I appreciate you. Good night, everybody. That wraps up part 1 of this video. Stay tuned for part 2. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff so that YouTube tells you about it when it comes out in a couple of days. I got to get the legs attached. I got to turn that thing over, which turns out to be harder than I anticipated. It barely fits in the kiln. All of the good stuff happens in part 2. So stay tuned.